All right, everyone. So it's been a week since I returned from DEF CON. Getting over COVID that I just happened to bring back. If you paid attention to my channel posts, you would know more about that. But I'm here because I happen to have this O.MG attack cable in my hands. It's already plugged into my machine. Yeah, let's do this. I've got a full mock Active Directory lab set up in order to work with this and show everyone exactly why you never want to charge with just any cable you find. So here is my lab setup. Obviously, the O.MG cable is plugged into my rig. On my rig, I've got two Hyper-V machines. I've got a Parrot OS machine, and I've also got a virtual domain controller, and I actually joined the very host machine that this Hyper-V guest is running on. I joined the host to the domain that this guest is controlling. So it's literally controlled by its own VM, essentially, which is crazy. It took a lot of work, but managed to get that done. My MacBook Pro is over here, and I'm using it. As you can see, I've connected it to the Wi-Fi network that the O.MG cable is broadcasting. And I'm using this to, basically, this is the payload workstation. This is what I'm ducky scripting on. The Parrot OS machine, meanwhile, is my capture machine. So this is what I'm using to capture both hashes and shells. And I'm also going to use it to perform a couple of relay attacks, which you'll see later in this video. So my first payload is this. So this here, this test.exe, this was actually a custom reverse shell that I had to write from scratch in C# as part of the Hack the Box Intro to Windows Evasion module. If you watched my CAPE video, aka Mission Accomplished Part 2, I talk a little bit about that. I'm going to run this ducky script payload, which runs that test.exe together with GUIR in the run command. We'll see what happens. So it is hit or miss because of the way the cable is connecting, I guess. But you notice right here, we have a shell from that cable. So yeah, now this is, you would notice this because you have this window popping up, but still, this is how easy it is for someone to remotely access your machine using one of these cables. So in my demo Active Directory environment, I have two service accounts, one of which is a group managed service account, which I'm not logged in as. The one that I am logged in as is just a normal service account, which happens to be a normal user, which is dangerous practice in the real world, but it does still show up. So I'm actually going to do something else with it. I'm going to see if we can crack the hash. So let's get going with it, shall we? So I've replaced the ducky script payload with a very stealthy get child item, which happens to be pointed at my Parrot machine, at a UNC path on my Parrot machine. And over here, I have an Impacket SMB server set up. So we're going to see what happens if we run it now. And we just stole the hash. So now let's see if we can crack it, shall we? Well, we couldn't crack it. I thought this password was weak enough to be in Raku, but I guess not. So plan B, time to NTLM relay X this thing. So now I've changed the ducky script payload to invoke web request, and you notice I'm saying -use default credentials to make sure that we're authenticating to the target. Over here, I have an NTLM relay server, which should, if it's successful, add a fake computer to the domain. So let's see what happens here. All right, quick update. So I had to tweak this last payload a little bit because for whatever reason, invoke web request only works in a active PowerShell session, not PowerShell TAC-C. So I had to actually open a PowerShell window to do it. But once I did, you can see right here, machine account added to the domain. Yep. And that's what happens when you trust any old cable lying around. So I am going to break down this NTLM relay X command because it is a mouthful. So first of all, the target is LDAP-S, domain controller, no domain admin, no ACL abuse. Then it's doing a -- add computer and then SMB2 support. So this is basically relaying hashes for the sole purpose of adding machine accounts to the domain. And that's exactly what we did with this cable. So why the GMSA account if we can't log in on with it? Well, as you can see here, to anyone who knows their UAC flags, this is configured with unconstrained delegation, which opens the door to Kerberos relay attacks. So that's what we'll be doing next. Alright, so for this final attack, I am logged in as the lab domain admin on this host. And I also have, as you can see here, using the hashes and the Kerberos key for the unconstrained delegation group managed service account. Let's see if we can steal some tickets with the O.MG cable, shall we? So there's a few things that have to happen in order for this to work. Number one, the account has to have, as I mentioned before, unconstrained delegation. Number two, I need to have SPNs configured on it. And number three, I need to have a fake DNS record set up. Once I've got all three of them, though, as you can see here, the only difference between the Kerberos and NTLM relay payloads is Kerberos relay has the FQDN pointing to, in this case, the fake record pointing at this parrot machine. So that's the only difference, but now that we've got all that running, let's see what happens if we try to run this. You can see right here, we've got them. We've got domain admin tickets, and we can obviously use those. We can pass the ticket. We can even forge golden tickets using these. In fact, let's do that, shall we? So I'm not going to show you the output in the terminal that involves using the relay ticket to create a golden ticket because it would reveal a lot of sensitive information, obviously. Obviously, you need the SID, you need the KRB TGT hashes. Not going to give that away. However, basically you use the ticket that you relayed together with secrets.dump.py and lookup sid.py, two of those impacket commands, and that will just basically give you all the information you need. And you can see right here I've done it. I actually created a golden ticket using the O.MG cable. Now granted, this is a very uncommon situation, having unconstrained delegation on a user or even on a service account, but you get the idea. Very serious. I would certainly hate to be an unsuspecting domain admin who picks this thing up, plugs it in, not knowing it's configured to do something like this to them. So yeah, hopefully this entire series of demos from reverse shell to NTLM relay all the way to Kerberos relay and golden ticket puts the severity of just trusting any old cable you find on the ground in context. So what's next for this channel? Well, a couple days before I left for Vegas, I ordered this and it finally arrived. This Wi-Fi Pineapple Mark 7. Yes, I will be doing a video on that next, so if you don't want to miss it, please subscribe and click the bell to allow notifications. Otherwise, you may miss that demo. And yeah, can't wait. This should be fun.